Alright guys, we are back today for the strength testing or the testing workout, which is something you want to do every month. This is probably the most important session of the series because it's going to show you if you are progressing across all areas of not just the strength, but the breath, mobility, etc. Or if you're hitting plateaus. And when you're hitting plateaus, it's the body's feedback to saying we're going to train more because we're not doing enough. We're going to create a need to adapt. Or we've got to recover more, whether that's through more rest, sleep, better nutrition. So this is the best measuring stick so we can make sure you are progressing consistently ongoing. We're going to start the first two exercises with the breath, then we'll do a flexibility test, and then we'll move through the legs, upper body, full body, a little bit of core. For these first two with the breath, before you start either of them, you want to take about a minute to just relax and get the heart rate down, especially if you've been setting up the mat, getting the dumbbells ready, so we can have a consistent, accurate score. The first one is the Bolt test, which is a very simple breath. You just take a nice breath in, nice breath out, and then you start the count. You end the count when you feel a decent urge to breathe in again. That is your Bolt score. Okay, anywhere from 15 is a little low, up to 40, 45 is exceptionally good. So see where you're at. The second breath is the one breath max, similar to a one rep max, although kind of the opposite because we're doing the slowest breath possible. So our strongest result, I believe, the last I've checked, is someone did a minute 45, which is an incredibly good Bolt score. That would mean you're in and out, in for about 50, out for 50. Very, very difficult to do. A lot of you guys will start out at 10-10, 20-20, and you're just going as slow as you can on the inhale and slow as you can out, trying to get the longest time possible. If you're new to this, I do let people go twice because it takes a little bit of practice to get used to that repetition. All right, we're going to move on to our first flexibility test, which is a nice and easy one. We are simply doing the sit and reach. To be consistent every time, you want the knees dead flat. So if you're doing this, sometimes up and down, it's not going to be accurate. And you're going to need a ruler for this. I don't have a ruler handy with me out here today. So if you're here, you're going to put the ruler on your toe, and from here I'm going to be about a negative 2 or 3 inches, or negative 7, 8 centimeters. Or if I get to here, I might be plus 10 centimeters, 12 centimeters, 5 inches, whatever metric you want to use. You want to be able to do something you can hold for 5 seconds, so we're not just doing that. It has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is your flexibility score. First leg exercise is just a simple dumbbell squat to just 90 degrees. So I want to go feet on knees just outside around the shoulders, feet slightly outward. We come down to just 90 degrees and up. 90, like we don't need to go all the way down here because you'll generally get inconsistency. We want to find around bums kind of level with the ground and see how many you can push out. Next exercise is very similar to a Cossack, but we don't go as deep, so we're not going to call it a Cossack. We're going to go we'll call it a 90 degree Cossack. So I go just to 90 degrees, up through center, just to 90 degrees, just below. So we don't need to go all the way down here. We just go to 90. Nice and simple. See how many you can get. The next strength test we're going to do is the upper body. We're going to test what the upper body is doing specifically through the chest, and we're going to do some push-ups. Again, just to 90 degrees. Why are we not going full on all these exercises? Because when we go full, we start to not load the muscle, but the tendon, and when you're looking for personal best, this is where most people do damage. So we're going to keep us in the strongest spot, 90 degrees. Just keep consistent with your width as well. I like just outside the shoulders. Nice and simple, to 90, lock, 90, lock, 90, lock. The pace is not too important. For any of these exercises, just go to 90, lock, and you'll get that consistent measuring and tracking over time. Next up, we're going to test more the lats, a little bit of core here with the Renegade row. Pretty simple. Also, you only have to go to 90. Don't let that lower back dip. Strength here, alternate, 90. So it's creating a 90 degree, pretty in line with the body. And see how many you can get and keep progressing. Next up is our shoulder press, again to 90 degrees for the same reasons. We're taking the body out of it so we can't cheat. Find 90, 1, 2. By having the legs out, you can't use your legs, you can't use your core, you can't cheat, and we can get a really accurate measure. Next up is our first full body dumbbell exercise. We're going to with the devil's press. All I'm going to do here, dumbbells just around the shoulders, like I'm going to do a burpee, float up, 1 movement up, straight back down. Watch shift step back so we don't load the back, nice and soft, legs wide, up, straight back down. All right, similar movement, but this is more focused on endurance, so you can do a lot more reps. We're gonna do the flow burpees. The flow burpee is our low impact burpee. It's basically a loaded beast frog jump. All we have to do with the flow burpee is make sure the bum hits the heels and we get some air time. As you fatigue, that'll get really small. When do you stop? When you can't get off the ground. If you can't get off the ground, you are out, and don't start only going to here. Bum has to hit the heels for a full rep. Last two exercises, we are going to test the core. First one's one of my favorites, the side kick through. Nice and simple. Hovering base, we lean, get the full lock, full lock, full lock. Nice straight line stacked, nice straight line. And when your form starts to go in here and the leg's not long and straight, we are out of reps. The last core exercise is my favorite, the low boat. You're going to bulletproof the back. We're going to make sure the lower back is glued to the floor at all times. The minute this comes off, you are out. And that heel has to be below 10 inches of our foot. Now the count starts, and as soon as this happens, you are out. And that is our full strength testing workout. You may actually pull up more sore from this simple workout, even though it's half the time of a traditional power hour. Why? Because you're forcing progression. You're tracking very, very carefully, which is going to force that growth. Where often we'll get stuck into the trap of doing power hour, we're a little bit fatigued, we might not actually be progressing. We might actually be progressive deloading or underloading. So that's the benefit of this. I like to do it once a month, A, to progress, but B, it helps me know the feedback of the body, where it's at. We should always be progressing, growing, getting better. Any questions, use the forum and I can help you guys. If you're not progressing, we'll figure out why so you can keep growing. See you on the other side.